What if the very thing you're trying to avoid, stress, is actually the secret ingredient to your greatness? Why do the strongest people in history all seem to have endured unimaginable pressure? And could it be that your potential isn't buried under comfort, but uncovered through trial? According to the Stoics, the greatest individuals aren't defined by how comfortable their lives are, but by how skillfully they respond to stress. While modern society often tells us to step back, take breaks, or slow down the moment we feel overwhelmed, the Stoics saw stress through a different lens. To them, stress wasn't a sign of weakness, it was a forge. Just as a diamond cannot emerge without being shaped by the crushing forces of the earth, a person cannot become great without enduring the weight of life's challenges. Greatness, the Stoics believed, is not born from comfort, but carved out through resistance, struggle, and unwavering persistence. One quote from Seneca captures this perfectly. "Just as a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor can a man be perfected without trials." This is not just poetic, it's a principle. You are already everything you need to become. The strength, the wisdom, the discipline, they are seeds planted within you. But it's through daily challenge and refinement that they grow. Through Stoicism, we unlock the tools to transform, to evolve, and to rise. But to help the world to lead, to become a Stoic, you must first begin with yourself. Master your thoughts. Learn to direct your reactions, both to what happens around you and within you. Shape your habits. Tame your impulses. Only when you lead yourself can you lead others. Only when you conquer your own mind can you walk the true path of the Stoic and pursue self-mastery. The Stoic way isn't easy. It demands focus, presence, mindfulness. It's not a weekend fix, it's a lifelong discipline. And at the very heart of it lies a foundational lesson, the first principle every modern Stoic must embrace. Lesson 1. The virtue of present focus. How often do you find yourself trapped between the regrets of yesterday and the worries of tomorrow? The Stoics taught that our power, our true freedom, exists in one place, the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." But what does that mean for us today, surrounded by constant pings, alerts, and distractions? In a world addicted to speed, our minds are constantly pulled away from now, from reality, from where our actual influence lies. Every second you spend consumed by fear of the future is a second stolen from action in the present. By anchoring yourself to this very moment, you begin to reclaim control. Life stops being something that happens to you and becomes something you participate in, fully, consciously, powerfully. So how can you start applying this in your daily life? That's where we'll go next. As we explore the Stoic habit of daily mindfulness and how even 5 minutes a day can change your inner world. As we learned from the previous lesson, grounding ourselves in the present isn't just about awareness, it's about finding strength and clarity, even when the world around us feels uncertain. Think about this. You're starting your day. What's the texture of your morning coffee as it touches your lips? What sounds drift through the air, birds, distant traffic, maybe the quiet hum of your own thoughts? These aren't trivial details. They are anchors. Paying attention to such moments sharpens your awareness of the now. It pulls your mind away from regrets of the past or fears of the future. It strengthens your presence, not only during calm, peaceful mornings, but especially when the storm hits. The Stoics believed that when we concentrate on the present, we tap into a hidden well of peace and resilience. It's not about escaping reality, but engaging with it more fully, on your own terms. The more we train our minds to stay rooted in the moment, the less power distractions and anxieties hold over us. So, as you continue your journey through Stoicism, let this daily practice of present focus serve as your compass. A small reminder, here and there, a deep breath before reacting, a pause to feel your feet on the ground, can quietly recenter your entire day. Ask yourself, How will you stay present today? What new clarity might emerge when your attention stops wandering and settles into this very moment? And now we move forward to another essential Stoic lesson: embracing change as a path to growth. How do you respond when life suddenly shifts direction? The Stoics didn't view change as a threat. They saw it as a necessary rhythm of the universe, an ever-flowing current that we must learn to flow with, not fight against. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." This isn't resignation. It's a call to wholehearted acceptance. Change can be uncomfortable. It often arrives with confusion, loss, or anxiety. But look deeper. Within every change lies a seed, a chance to grow, to renew, to discover something new about yourself. Our response to change, not the change itself, is what shapes our experience. And here, Stoicism offers us a profound shift in mindset. What if, instead of resisting change, we welcomed it? You can start small. Notice how you react when your daily routine is disrupted. Is your usual route to work blocked? Instead of frustration, try curiosity. What might you discover on this new path? A podcast you've been meaning to finish? A street you've never noticed? By learning to accept these minor changes without resistance, you gradually build the resilience needed for life's bigger upheavals, unexpected career turns, relationship changes, personal losses. Each disruption becomes a doorway. Each adaptation builds your strength. Now imagine, a year from now, having embraced each wave of change instead of resisting it, what kind of person might you become? What new qualities might rise within you? Take a moment to reflect on that. Because up next, we'll explore how Stoicism helps us deal with something even more inevitable than change itself: the reality of pain and adversity. So as we begin to embrace change, not with resistance, but with curiosity, we come to a crucial question. How do we actually respond to these changes in real life? Think about a recent shift in your life, a change that caught you off guard. How did you react? Did you resist it, feel overwhelmed, or try to escape it? Or did you pause, reflect, and try to understand what it could teach you? Now ask yourself, what might you do differently next time? How could you respond in a way that aligns more closely with Stoic principles? This kind of reflection isn't just theoretical, it's practical. It's what Stoicism is all about, because the Stoic path is not a philosophy locked in ancient books. It's a way of living. It's about applying these timeless ideas to modern challenges. It's about turning fear into growth, turning discomfort into wisdom, and using change not as something to fear, but as something that can forge you. So, how will you apply today's insight? How will you meet change tomorrow? With resistance or with openness and confidence? As we move forward, another powerful theme in Stoicism reveals itself: the art of cultivating emotional resilience. How often do we let our emotions take the wheel? One moment we're calm, the next overwhelmed, swept up by anger, fear, or frustration. The Stoics believed that the key to enduring life's inevitable hardships isn't to chase pleasure or avoid pain, but to build a kind of inner fortress, calm, rational, steady in any storm. Seneca once warned, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. This isn't just poetic, it's a roadmap. When we're consumed by what might happen, we forget to live what is happening. Emotional resilience starts with presence, with learning to face what is instead of fearing what might be. So, what is emotional resilience, really? In simple terms, it's your mind's ability to withstand stress and return to balance after a crisis. But in Stoic philosophy, it's deeper than that. Resilience isn't just bouncing back, It's using the experience to become stronger, wiser, and more grounded. The Stoics saw adversity as a kind of training ground, a test that refines our inner character. Each hardship isn't just a burden, it's an opportunity, an invitation to grow. And here's where perception becomes everything. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." That means it's not what happens to us that causes pain, it's how we interpret it. A setback at work, it's not just a failure, it's a lesson in perseverance. A heated argument, not just conflict, but a test of patience and emotional control. Resilient people don't let emotions define the moment. They use reason to reshape the meaning. They reframe, they realign. And in doing so, they transform weakness into strength. So how might you begin to build this inner strength? Start by noticing how you respond emotionally. Then ask, is this reaction serving me? Or can I choose a response more aligned with wisdom, courage, justice, or moderation? That's the Stoic way. And next, we'll go even deeper into how your daily habits and self-discipline play a vital role in shaping the Stoic life. So, we've seen how Stoicism teaches us to reframe our emotions and strengthen our inner core. But how do we take that even further toward real daily emotional resilience? Another key to resilience lies in adaptability. And here, the Stoics offer a powerful shift in how we perceive the world. By striving for objectivity, rather than getting swept up in emotional waves or subjective judgments, a Stoic seeks to see life as it truly is. Not as they fear it might be, not as they wish it were, but as it actually stands, clear, unfiltered, and honest. This means stepping back and asking yourself, what are the actual facts of this situation? Am I projecting anything onto it? Fears, assumptions, emotional bias that might be clouding my judgment? This shift in perspective isn't just a thought experiment, it's a habit, and Stoicism provides several practical techniques to strengthen this mental clarity and emotional resilience. Let's begin with cognitive distancing. This technique invites you to take a step back from your immediate emotional reaction, as if you're watching your thoughts and feelings happen to someone else. Imagine you're observing yourself from the outside, like a wise friend watching with calm detachment. This creates a small but powerful gap between you and your reaction. And in that space, you gain clarity. You're no longer ruled by the emotion, you're examining it. The Stoics encourage this kind of detachment not to suppress emotion, but to understand it. Because when you see that you are not your anger, your anxiety, or your frustration, you create the freedom to choose how to respond. Next, we have challenging irrational beliefs. The Stoics trained themselves to question thoughts that triggered unnecessary suffering. When the mind screams, "This is the worst thing that could happen," the Stoic calmly asks, "Is that really true?" By identifying and replacing irrational, fear-based thoughts with balanced, reasoned ones, you weaken their power. You become less reactive, more stable. This mental discipline gradually reduces emotional volatility and strengthens your ability to face life's uncertainties. Another key practice is voluntary discomfort. It may sound extreme, but it's quite simple. It could mean skipping a meal, sleeping without a blanket, or walking in the cold. Why? Because by choosing discomfort now, you prepare for it later. These small exercises build psychological armor. They teach you that you can endure more than you think. So when life does hit hard, you've already trained for it. You're not fragile, you're forged. And finally, there's the habit of daily reflection. Each evening, the Stoics would look back on their day. What challenges did I face? How did I respond? Where did I act with strength? And where can I do better tomorrow? This nightly self-audit isn't about guilt. It's about growth. It's a moment to reinforce what you've learned and to prepare your mind for future trials. When you weave these practices into your daily life, You don't just talk about resilience, you live it, you build it, moment by moment, choice by choice. And over time, when real adversity strikes, you'll find that you don't panic. You respond with calm, clarity, and strength. Now let's explore how this strength extends even further into how you control your actions, discipline your habits, and truly live Stoic virtue through daily self-mastery. As we've seen, Stoic resilience isn't built overnight. It's shaped by daily practices that sharpen your perception, strengthen your emotional core, and prepare you for life's storms. But how do we keep that mindset alive, moment by moment? Two powerful tools the Stoics would no doubt embrace today are mindfulness and meditation. These aren't just buzzwords. They are essential disciplines for cultivating calm, clarity, and presence. When practiced consistently, they help you observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing you to respond with intention instead of impulse. By weaving these practices into your routine, even just for a few minutes a day, you build the mental muscle to stay composed under pressure. You reflect the Stoic ideal, maintaining equanimity even when chaos surrounds you. Start simple. Sit in a quiet space, close your eyes, focus on your breath, the subtle sensation of air moving in and out of your body. When your thoughts begin to wander, and they will, gently return your focus to the breath. No judgment, just presence. This small act of returning to breath, to now, is the foundation of mindfulness. Over time, it becomes a refuge, a space within you that stays steady. No matter what's happening outside, you can apply this in real life too, especially during moments of tension, at work, in a difficult conversation. Pause, breathe. That short space between reaction and response can be the difference between escalation and wisdom. Another profound Stoic tool for self-mastery is journaling. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, used writing as a mirror for reflection, for clarity, for growth. A journal isn't just a record of events. It's a way to process your emotions, examine your reactions, and reconnect with your core values. Try this. Each evening, spend 10 minutes writing about your most emotionally charged moments of the day. What triggered you? How did you respond? Was your reaction aligned with Stoic virtues, wisdom, courage, temperance, or justice? Be honest. No one else will read it. Over time, patterns will emerge, certain situations, people, or thoughts that consistently pull you off balance. When you become aware of these triggers, you gain the power to manage them. Once a week, go back and review your entries. Look for growth. Notice where you improved and where you still struggle. This habit transforms reflection into a tool for real change. And if you want to go deeper, engage in Stoic reflections, reviewing your day not just emotionally, but philosophically. Did you live according to reason today? Did you act in alignment with your higher self, or were you led by impulse? This kind of self-assessment encourages continuous growth and nurtures resilience over time. Finally, the Stoics also practiced mental exercises to maintain perspective. One such technique is the view from above, a meditation where you imagine seeing your life from a higher vantage point. From up there, far beyond your daily concerns, how significant does today's frustration really seem? In the next section, we'll explore how this shift in perspective, zooming out from the details, can give you profound clarity and teach you to respond to life with wisdom instead of worry. After grounding ourselves through mindfulness and journaling, the next Stoic practice invites us to rise above, to gain perspective, to zoom out, and to see life from a broader view. This is known as the view from above. It's a simple but powerful exercise. Imagine your life as a tiny thread woven into the vast fabric of the universe. Suddenly, the weight of your problems begins to shift. What once felt overwhelming now appears smaller, more manageable, even fleeting. Try it the next time you feel trapped by worry or stress. Close your eyes. Picture yourself from above, first from the ceiling of the room you're in, then from your rooftop, then floating high above your city. Keep rising until your individual struggles seem less like insurmountable walls and more like small ripples in a much larger ocean. This change in scale can calm the mind and reduce emotional intensity. It reminds us that we are not the center of the storm. We are part of something far greater. And with that awareness often comes peace, humility, and strength. Even the greatest Stoics practiced this shift in perspective. Take Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most respected philosophers and Roman emperors. During his reign, he faced one of the most catastrophic events of his time, the Antonine Plague. Between 165 and 180 AD, this deadly epidemic, likely smallpox, swept through the Roman Empire, killing millions and weakening its population, economy, and military. The pressure on Marcus was unimaginable, yet through it all he remained steady, calm, committed to duty. Amid personal loss and national crisis, he didn't retreat into despair. He turned to reflection. Much of his iconic work, Meditations, was written during these grueling military campaigns and plague-ridden years. In one of his most enduring lines, he wrote, "Be like the promontory against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." This image of a cliff standing unshaken in crashing waves captures his entire Stoic posture. The world may rage around you, but your inner state remains grounded, unbroken. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that emotional resilience isn't about ignoring reality. It's about responding with clarity, calm, and courage, even when life is cruelly unpredictable. His legacy echoes another Stoic example, Seneca. In 41 AD, Seneca was exiled to the island of Corsica by Emperor Claudius, accused of an affair with the emperor's niece. For 8 long years, he lived in disgrace and isolation, cut off from Rome's political life and intellectual circles. But rather than surrender to bitterness or self-pity, Seneca turned inward. He wrote, he reflected, and out of that exile came some of the most powerful philosophical writings ever produced, words that still inspire readers centuries later. His response to hardship wasn't escape. It was transformation. And in the next section, we'll explore how the Stoics teach us to prepare for adversity in advance, so that when storms come, we are not surprised, but ready. As we saw with Seneca's exile, true Stoic strength lies not in avoiding hardship, but in how we transform it into wisdom. His words became a source of light, not just for himself, but for generations to come. Even today, Seneca is celebrated for the clarity and depth of his consolations, philosophical essays born from suffering. Rather than let adversity consume him, he used it as a forge, shaping his pain into insight. Through these writings, he practiced Stoicism in its purest form, turning inner turmoil into resilience and isolation into inner freedom. Epictetus echoed this same spirit when he wrote, "I am not suffering because I am not a wretch, nor does any man suffer except by his own fault. Our perturbations come only from the opinion which is within us." These are not the words of a man defeated, but of someone who chose to see suffering not as punishment, but as possibility. Seneca's mindset during exile illustrates a central Stoic idea. External circumstances don't define the state of our soul. Even when the world around us crumbles, we can turn inward to a place of calm, reflection, and strength. And that brings us to our next lesson. Lesson 4, the strength of self-control. Self-control in Stoic philosophy isn't about restriction or denial. It's about liberation. It means regulating your emotions, desires, and behaviors, not through suppression, but through reason. Living in alignment with your values, acting with intention, And most importantly, not allowing external events or inner impulses to dictate your choices. For Stoics like Epictetus, self-control was a kind of freedom. He once declared, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." What does that mean in practice? It means we stop chasing temporary highs or reacting blindly to every emotional tug. We pause, we think, and we choose our responses based on principles, not urges. Start your day with intention. Ask yourself, what virtues will I embody today? Will I meet frustration with patience? Will I resist temptation in favor of discipline? This daily commitment aligns your actions with your Stoic path. You can train this discipline with small, simple exercises. Wait a few extra minutes before eating. Complete important tasks before indulging in rest. By choosing delayed gratification, you build inner strength and prove to yourself that you control your impulses, not the other way around. When facing decisions, big or small, practice the Stoic pause. Ask, which choice reflects my values? Which path serves my long-term growth rather than my short-term craving? This habit of reflection makes your life deliberate, not reactive. And at the end of the day, don't let those choices go unexamined. Reflect, because next, we'll explore how the Stoics used evening reflection as a vital tool for growth, self-awareness, and strengthening the character day by day. As we explored in the previous section, self-control is not just about willpower in the moment. It's a lifestyle, shaped and strengthened through daily reflection and deliberate practice. At the end of each day, take time to reflect. Look back honestly. When did you succeed in staying grounded and disciplined? And when did impulse get the better of you? Don't judge, observe. How did your choices affect your outcomes, your peace of mind, your energy? By reviewing both your victories and your slip-ups, you create a roadmap for progress. You begin to understand what triggers certain reactions and what strategies might help you respond more wisely next time. One powerful Stoic method to strengthen self-control is voluntary discomfort. Practices like taking cold showers, fasting, or denying yourself small pleasures aren't acts of self-punishment. They're training. They toughen your mind. They teach you that you can endure discomfort without falling apart. And when real stress hits, at work, in relationships, in moments of temptation, you'll be more prepared to stay calm, composed, and clear-headed. Another essential tool is reframing impulsive thoughts. When your mind says, "I want this now," ask instead, "Is this truly beneficial for me in the long run?" This simple question acts like a mental brake, helping you align your behavior with Stoic rationality and long-term virtue, rather than fleeting desire. This commitment to self-discipline is not new. It was lived vividly and consistently by Stoic figures throughout history. Take Cato, known for his unwavering integrity in the corrupt world of Roman politics. Even in the face of immense personal and political setbacks, Cato never compromised his values. He demonstrated extraordinary self-control, resisting temptation and corruption at every turn, becoming a living example of Stoic strength. Seneca, too, offered timeless guidance in his letters to Lucilius. He didn't preach a life of total denial, but one of balanced simplicity, embracing pleasures without being ruled by them. His practical advice reminds us that true freedom is not in indulging every desire, but in mastering them. So consider this. How might the virtue of self-control help you face both everyday irritations and life's bigger upheavals? Start small, practice daily, reflect often. Because up next, we'll step into another core principle of Stoicism, the transformative power of acceptance. Not as passive surrender, but as a courageous embrace of life as it is. After understanding the value of self-control, the next Stoic step is learning to accept life as it comes, not with resignation, but with clarity, courage, and grace. The Stoics taught that we should direct our energy only where it truly matters, toward our own actions, attitudes, and responses. What happens outside of us, other people's behavior, external events, the past, is not within our power. And so, we must learn to accept these things without frustration, resistance, or emotional upheaval. The key is to draw a clear line between what is within your control and what is not. You control your effort, your words, your choices, your values. But you do not control how others respond, the course of history, or the randomness of fate. When this distinction becomes clear, your energy is no longer scattered. You stop chasing what you can't change and start focusing fully on what you can, your own mindset and behavior. One practice that helps nurture this shift is daily gratitude. Each day, take a moment to focus on what you do have: your breath, your abilities, your opportunities, your lessons. This subtle but powerful change in focus strengthens your appreciation for life as it is, not as you wish it were. When you face a setback, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can this teach me?" This single shift in questioning transforms pain into possibility and aligns with the Stoic belief that every moment is a chance for growth. End each day by reflecting, when did I succeed in practicing acceptance today? And when did I resist reality, fighting against what I could not change? These reflections help you spot patterns and prepare better responses moving forward. Regular meditation can deepen this practice. By observing your thoughts and emotions, without attachment, you begin to understand how fleeting they really are. You learn to meet life, not with control, but with calm. Start each morning by setting intentions rooted in acceptance. Decide, if my day is interrupted, I will meet it with composure. If my plans shift, I will embrace the change without resistance. These quiet commitments can rewire the way you move through life. Marcus Aurelius often turned to the view from above technique to remind himself how small most problems are in the grand scheme of the universe. From that higher vantage point, things that once felt urgent shrink in importance. You begin to see clearly. Life is fleeting, unpredictable, and precious. Seneca, too, reminds us that adversity is not something to avoid, but something to accept and grow through. To him, hardship wasn't a detour, it was the path itself, a way to build strength, character, and peace. So the next time life shakes your plans or brings unexpected storms, remember this: acceptance is not surrender. It's power. It's the strength to meet life as it is, not as we wish it to be. And now we move to a deeper layer of Stoic practice: emotional agility, the ability to feel fully yet respond wisely. As we've just seen, acceptance gives us peace with what we cannot change. But what about the things that stir within us, our emotions, impulses, and inner storms? That's where emotional agility comes in. Emotional agility is the ability to manage your thoughts and feelings in a way that is conscious, intentional, and aligned with your values. For the Stoics, this didn't mean suppressing emotion. It meant acknowledging it, understanding it, and then choosing not to be ruled by it. Instead of being swept away by anger, fear, or frustration, a Stoic steps back, observes, and responds with reason. Start by simply noticing your emotions when they arise. Do you feel irritation bubbling up in traffic? Anxiety before a difficult conversation? Instead of reacting immediately, pause. This moment of pause is where your power lies. It's the space between stimulus and response, where reason can speak before emotion takes the lead. In that pause, you have a choice. Will you lash out? Or will you respond in a way that reflects your values: patience, kindness, composure? A key Stoic technique here is reframing, changing the way you interpret a situation. Say you feel frustrated with a colleague. Rather than fueling resentment, ask, could they be acting from stress, ignorance, or fear? Could this moment be a quiet test of my patience, a chance to grow in understanding? This simple shift can turn emotional discomfort into a practice of virtue. You can also strengthen emotional agility by building your tolerance for discomfort through small, controlled challenges. Take a cold shower. Fast for a few hours longer than usual. Do something that stretches you beyond comfort. These practices build inner fortitude, so when life hits harder, you've already trained for it. At the end of your day, reflect. Did I react impulsively or respond deliberately? Was I ruled by my emotions or guided by my principles? Writing in a journal can help here. Put your emotions on paper. Explore what triggered them, how you responded, and how you might respond better next time. This kind of honest self-inquiry builds awareness, and awareness is the foundation of emotional agility. Meditation, too, supports this growth. With regular practice, you'll become more present, more aware of your inner world. You'll learn to observe your thoughts without judgment and remain calm even when those thoughts turn stormy. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to stay composed, no matter what chaos surrounded him. His meditations urge us to see every challenge as a chance to demonstrate virtue, to turn adversity into clarity, strength, and grace. Epictetus took it even further. To him, freedom wasn't external, it was internal. It came from understanding the difference between what we can and cannot control, and mastering our response to everything life throws at us. So take a moment to imagine what kind of freedom and peace might you discover if you learn to meet every emotion not with resistance but with wisdom. Next, we'll explore how this inner mastery empowers you to serve others, not from weakness, but from the strength of a well-ordered mind. Now that we've explored how emotional agility gives us freedom in how we respond, we turn to a closely related Stoic practice, the art of detachment. Lesson 7, the art of detachment. How often do our strongest emotions cloud our judgment, pulling us into actions we later regret? For the Stoics, detachment wasn't about becoming cold or emotionless. It was about creating space between stimulus and response. It's about not allowing our feelings to hijack our clarity. Detachment means separating emotion from decision-making, so our actions reflect our values, not our temporary moods. The Stoics believed that true freedom isn't found in controlling the world around us, but in mastering our inner world. By managing our responses, we protect our peace, regardless of what happens externally. Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This simple truth reveals a powerful insight. Often it's not the event itself that causes distress, it's our interpretation of it. By learning to observe our thoughts and feelings without immediately acting on them, we can stay calm and rational under pressure. Start by practicing this. When something upsets you, imagine you're an impartial observer. Look at the situation as though you were watching it unfold in someone else's life. What are the facts, separate from the emotion? For example, if someone criticizes you, pause before reacting. Describe what happened in neutral terms. A person expressed disagreement with my idea. This small shift in language helps reduce emotional charge and increases clarity. Creating that mental space between what you feel and how you act is the core of Stoic detachment. Another helpful habit: when emotions surge, remind yourself this. Feeling is temporary. It doesn't define me. And I don't have to act on it. Ask yourself, what would someone I admire do right now? This question anchors you to your values and helps you choose a response grounded in character, not chaos. 2. Strengthen this mindset. Regularly engage in exercises that detach you from results. Take on tasks where the outcome is uncertain. Whether it's a creative project, a conversation, or a challenge, focus only on effort, not success. This practice reminds you that outcomes aren't always in your control, but your actions always Or even something as simple as counting to 10 before reacting can create a crucial pause, giving your rational mind a chance to lead. And just like in previous Stoic practices, journaling plays a key role. Each day, write about moments when strong emotions took hold. What triggered them? How did you respond? Were your feelings proportionate to the event, or did your perception amplify them? Over time, this habit trains you to catch emotional reactions in the moment and to respond with calm instead of being swept away. When you detach from outcomes, step back from emotional overreaction, and stay rooted in reason, you embody one of the most powerful Stoic principles, freedom through inner control. And as we move forward, we'll discover how this freedom allows us to live not just for ourselves, but to serve others from a place of strength, clarity, and integrity. As you continue practicing detachment, remember, it's not about becoming numb. It's about learning to feel deeply without being dominated by those feelings. And over time, that inner steadiness becomes your strength. At the end of each day, reflect on moments when you successfully detached from emotions that could have led you astray. Where did you pause, breathe, and choose a wiser response? Also, be honest with yourself. Were there times when your emotions swept you up? Moments when detachment could have helped you act more clearly or kindly. This gentle review helps build awareness and reinforces your ability to step back before reacting next time. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to accept external events exactly as they are, without adding unnecessary emotional weight. Pointer. His meditations, he returned again and again to this idea that freedom comes from seeing things clearly, without distortion. To Aurelius, detachment from desire and aversion wasn't about apathy, it was about peace, a way to live more effectively with a clear mind and a steady heart. Seneca echoed this perspective in his letters. He saw freedom not in indulging every passion, but in being free from their control. For him, detachment allowed for deeper presence. It wasn't withdrawal from life, it was entry into it, undisturbed by emotional noise. So let's be clear, detachment isn't about not caring, it's about caring in a calm, balanced way, where outcomes don't own you. It's about responding to life with composure, clarity, and the strength to grow no matter what happens. And now, we arrive at one of the most beautiful and challenging Stoic ideas. Lesson 8. The principle of amor fati. What if we not only accepted life's hardships, but embraced them? What if we saw every challenge not as a mistake or misfortune, but as something essential, something meant for us? That's the core of amor fati, the love of fate. It invites us to welcome everything that happens, even the pain, even the struggle, as necessary parts of our journey. For the Stoics, amor fati was not passive acceptance, it was active love. Not just enduring what life brings, but seeing it as perfect, in its own mysterious way. Friedrich Nietzsche, deeply influenced by Stoic thought, captured this with power. My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. To Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, this wasn't blind optimism, it was trust in a universe that is rational and purposeful. If it happens, then it belongs. And because it belongs, we must learn to meet it not with bitterness, but with strength and even joy. Begin by shifting how you see challenges. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "How is this shaping me?" View the difficulty not as an interruption, but as part of your training. This reframing transforms hardship into something meaningful. It no longer blocks your path, it becomes your path. A powerful way to support this mindset is through daily gratitude, not just for the good, but also for the tough. Gratitude for the struggle that built your patience. Gratitude for the delay that taught you humility. Gratitude even for the pain because it sharpened your clarity. And in the next section, we'll explore how embracing this mindset helps you not only survive challenges, but transcend them through meaning, virtue, and courage. Previously, we explored amor fati, the bold Stoic call to embrace all of life, not just with acceptance, but with love. But how do we truly live that out, moment to moment? It begins by shifting your perspective on everything that happens, good or bad. This mindset doesn't just tolerate difficulty, it appreciates its role in shaping who we are. When you start to view each moment as necessary, as part of a bigger, unfolding story, you foster a deeper appreciation for life exactly as it is. Try this. Use visualization to reimagine your life as a story. You are the central character. And just like any meaningful tale, your journey includes plot twists, trials, even tragedy, each with a purpose. Every challenge plays a role. Every setback has meaning. When you view your life this way, even pain becomes purposeful. Practice mindfulness throughout your day, not just in silence, but in action. Accept and appreciate each moment as it arises. When frustrations appear, pause and reflect. How might this moment be teaching me something? How could this shape my character for the better? Keep a daily journal, not just to record what happened, but to interpret those events through the lens of amor fati. Ask yourself, if this moment was meant for me, what can I take from it? How does it help me grow? This reflection deepens your relationship with life itself. It turns the ordinary into something sacred. Regularly meditate on the impermanence of life. Remember that everything, joy, sorrow, ease, and hardship, is fleeting. Each experience, whether painful or beautiful, leaves its mark on the soul. This awareness helps you love the journey, not just the highlights, but every step, every stumble. Throughout his meditations, Marcus Aurelius returns to this truth. He writes that what is suitable for the universe is suitable for me. To him, this wasn't a resignation, it was power. By aligning himself with nature's flow, he freed himself from resistance and embraced everything as part of a larger harmony. Epictetus taught the same principle from another angle. To him, external events were never ours to control, but our response, our inner world, that was entirely up to us. His teachings remind us to meet life not with resistance, but with a willing heart, shaped by courage and calm. So ask yourself, how would my experience of life change if I welcomed everything, especially the difficult moments, with grace and gratitude? What would it mean to stop fighting fate and start flowing with it? This mindset lays the groundwork for the next vital Stoic virtue, perseverance. Because while acceptance teaches us to embrace what is, perseverance pushes us to keep moving, especially when the road ahead gets hard. After learning to embrace fate through amor fati, the next step on the Stoic path is to keep moving forward, especially when things get tough. That's where perseverance becomes essential. No matter what external obstacles or pressures you face, Stoicism teaches that the path to virtue and ultimately wisdom is rarely smooth. It is filled with setbacks, resistance, and hardship. But it is perseverance that transforms these trials into stepping stones. Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most iconic Stoic figure, knew this well. In his meditations, he wrote not as a philosopher in peace, but as an emperor at war, surrounded by disease, betrayal, and uncertainty. And yet he urged himself daily to rise, to act, to endure. To him, each challenge was not a reason to retreat, but a chance to demonstrate fidelity to his principles. So how do we cultivate that kind of perseverance in our own lives? Start by breaking your long-term goals into smaller, achievable steps. When the mountain feels too high, look only at the next step. Small wins build momentum and reduce the overwhelm that often leads to quitting. Engage in daily or weekly reflection on your progress. What worked? What didn't? Where did you slip? And what did it teach you? This honest, compassionate review helps you stay on course and fine-tune your approach without self-judgment. Another core component of perseverance is grit, that rare combination of passion and persistence. You can build grit by consistently aligning your actions with your deepest values, even when results are slow or invisible. Especially then, challenge yourself with small daily tasks that demand patience and follow-through. It could be sticking to an exercise habit, learning a new language, or completing a difficult project. These moments of disciplined effort, even when no one is watching, build your internal strength like a muscle. Keep powerful Stoic reminders nearby. Quotes like Marcus Aurelius's timeless line, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." These words aren't just motivational, they're a call to reframe obstacles as allies. Community also plays a key role. Surround yourself with others walking the Stoic path. Share your struggles, celebrate small victories. In those shared experiences, you'll find fuel to keep going. History gives us many examples of Stoic perseverance. Seneca, exiled and cut off from Roman society, didn't waste his isolation. Instead, he poured his energy into writing letters and essays that continue to shape minds today. His solitude became a forge. Epictetus, born a slave and later crippled, rose not through bitterness, but resilience. His teachings reveal a profound truth. Stoic perseverance isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about transforming it into purpose and power. So the next time you feel tempted to give up, remember this. The Stoic doesn't seek ease, they seek strength, and every struggle is a chance to become stronger. In the next section, we'll explore how perseverance and discipline work hand in hand with living a life of service and contribution, another pillar of Stoic fulfillment. As we explored, perseverance is the fuel that keeps us moving when things get hard. But at the heart of that fuel is grit, the quiet force that drives us to keep going, even when progress feels invisible. Consider how adopting a more persistent mindset could help you tackle the challenges you're currently facing. What doors might open if you kept showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's slow? Grit is what turns effort into transformation. It's the combination of passion and persistence, holding tight to your purpose while pushing through obstacles with steady, determined effort. To build grit, start by clarifying why your goals matter to you. What's at the heart of your pursuit? When the why is strong, the how becomes less daunting. This personal connection fuels long-term motivation, especially when results don't come quickly. Make it a habit to dedicate time, daily or weekly, to your goals. Show up regardless of your mood. Some days it might feel effortless. Other days it might feel like dragging yourself uphill. But consistency is key. Over time, it builds both momentum and mental toughness. Challenge your mental endurance. That could mean tackling complex problems, pushing yourself in physical training, or working through projects that stretch your limits. Every time you push through discomfort, you grow stronger, more resilient, more capable, and don't go it alone. Surround yourself with people who share your commitment to growth, or who've walked similar paths and persevered. A community can offer perspective when you feel stuck and encouragement when you feel like giving up. Implementing these strategies requires honest self-evaluation. Are you showing up for yourself? Are you aligned with your values? Regular reflection helps. Ensure your efforts are not just sustained, but meaningful. Set clear, purposeful goals. Pause often to reflect on what's working and where you're holding back. In doing so, you'll develop grit not just as an idea, but as a way of life. Each step you take with this mindset reinforces your Stoic character. You'll begin to live with a quiet, unshakable strength, the kind Stoicism was built to nurture. Perseverance, when practiced consistently, turns Stoic principles into action. It transforms theory into growth and intentions into lasting change, which brings us to a powerful companion to perseverance: reflection. Because it's not enough to keep going, you must also pause, look inward, and ask, am I walking the right path? Perseverance may keep us moving forward, but reflection ensures we're heading in the right direction. Without it, our growth can become blind effort. With it, we align our lives with virtue and wisdom. Lesson 10. Embracing the Stoic. Practice of reflection at the heart of Stoicism is the commitment to live according to reason and virtue. But how can we know if we're truly doing that day by day? The answer lies in reflection. Reflection helps solidify lessons from our daily experiences. It gives us the space to pause, examine, and integrate Stoic teachings into how we live, decide, and respond. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, set the standard for this practice. In the quiet hours of the night or dawn, he wrote honestly to himself, questioning his thoughts, reviewing his actions, and identifying where he could better align with his Stoic values. He didn't excuse his missteps, he learned from them. This habit of daily examination is vital, especially when we're facing challenges. It keeps our compass pointed toward reason, even in emotional storms. You can follow the same process by keeping a daily journal. Use it not just to record what happened, but to reflect. How did I respond today? What emotions drove my decisions? What Stoic principles guided me, or where did I fall short? Each evening, carve out time to ask yourself a few key questions. What did I do well? Where could I have done better? What did I learn today about myself or about virtue? How did I live or fail to live according to Stoic ideals? These moments of honest inquiry help transform your day's chaos into clarity. They show you where you've grown and where you still have work to do. Go further by engaging in dialogue with fellow Stoics or like-minded individuals. Conversations can reveal blind spots in your thinking, offer fresh insights, and challenge you to grow beyond your own perspective. Also, take time regularly to assess your emotional and philosophical growth. Are you becoming more patient? More resilient? Where do you still feel stuck? This kind of ongoing self-check keeps your development aligned with Stoic ideals, not just in theory, but in how you live. Complement this with meditative practices that focus on self-examination. Whether through silent reflection or guided Stoic meditations, create space to think deeply about your values, your habits, and your life's direction. And don't forget the power of external feedback. Ask for input from trusted friends or mentors, people who understand your values and can offer honest observations. Sometimes another's perspective can highlight what we fail to see in ourselves. Seneca modeled this in his letters, many of which were not only personal reflections, but moral teachings shared with others. Through these dialogues, he encouraged a culture of shared wisdom, showing that reflection doesn't have to happen in isolation. Epictetus, too, consistently asked his students to reflect, not just on what they did, but why they did it. Because understanding our actions is the first step to changing them. So take a quiet moment, breathe. Ask yourself, am I truly living in line with what I believe? And if not, what small shift could bring me closer tomorrow? Up next, we'll explore how this foundation of reflection supports the Stoic ideal of present focus, a virtue that anchors us fully in the here and now. As we've seen, the practice of reflection is not just about looking back, it's about preparing ourselves to move forward with greater clarity and strength. Over time, the simple act of reflecting can dramatically change how you face challenges. It becomes less about reacting and more about responding with intention. Reflection sharpens your awareness, reveals your blind spots, and reminds you of who you're striving to become. So ask yourself, how will I implement these practices, not just once, but consistently. How will I ensure that I am truly living a life guided by virtue and wisdom, not just talking about it? Because Stoicism isn't a philosophy to be studied from a distance. It's not a decoration for the mind. It's a discipline of the mind, yes, but also of the heart and spirit. It challenges us to turn our values into actions, to live deliberately and courageously in a world that often pulls us in every direction. So as you move forward, let these lessons guide you. Choose reason over impulse. Seek growth in hardship. Find peace in the present. Reflect with honesty. Persevere with grit. And above all, live with intention. Because in the end, Stoicism is not just about thinking better, it's about being better every single day. May the wisdom you've discovered here become not just knowledge, but a compass, one that helps you navigate the ever-changing tides of life with strength, with clarity, and with calm.